Hello and welcome to Teasing the NFL. This is your destination for NFL teaser bets. I'm Daniel Saludo along with Andrew Chang here. We are now at the Sunday night football game. It is a battle of the NFC as the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears.
Bears.
I was thinking Chi-Town, that's why. It's the Chicago Bears going to the Los Angeles Rams. Los Angeles here is the favorite at -7.5, and your total is 46.5. So Chicago gets teased up to plus 13.5. The Rams get teased down to -1.5. Your over gets teased down to 40.5, and your under gets teased up to 52.5.
Well, it'll always be Chicago if Andy Dalton is going to be at the helm. Let me tell you that right now, buddy. All right.
All right, let's go.
So you mentioned earlier that this is going to be Andy Dalton's team for maybe 4 games.
My prediction is he's on a 4-game leash, and unless he goes 4-0, he's going to lose the starting job.
Oof. And how do you think they'll fare with, I'll say, one of the, oh gosh, I just lost the word for it. One of the not overrated teams, but actually a team that is a Super Bowl contender. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, the Rams are no longer the overrated team. I mean, they've made essentially one monster change that they needed, and comparing up to Chicago, who's very not overrated, but they're just going to be one of the worst teams in the league until they get Justin Fields in, and that's I honestly think that's the truth of it. I don't think Andy Dalton is your starter. It's just not made. He's just not it. He's a temporary holdover who backs up now.
And it's crazy to think that this team with Mitch Trubisky at the helm
made the
playoffs last year
at the 7th seed. Yeah,
still made the playoffs. So can bad teams make it into the playoffs?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Washington did. And with a losing record.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, you got me there. You got me there, man. But yeah, I just don't feel that there is a scenario for me not picking the Rams this game. Granted, albeit Danny and I have been burned out many a times by the Rams.
But it's so different now. When you change your quarterback to one of probably the most underrated quarterbacks, I think, in the past 10 years, I think your mindset changes seeing the potential with what Matt Stafford can do with this team now. Number one, Sean McVay, one of the best coaches in the league, really great offensive mind. Now you give him a very competent, very reliable Matt Stafford, really great numbers with, a team that he didn't have the best talent with, especially once Calvin Johnson left. So there's a lot to like with the Rams. Of course, they have the high-rated defense, really good 2 wide receivers. Tyler Higbee, we mentioned him real quickly. In a previous video, I like him to get some good red zone targets and some short intermediates as well. I would be higher on him if they had Cam Akers, but he's out for the season. So Darrell Henderson's not a bad choice, backing up Sony Michel.
They got your boy. Tell him.
Who?
They got your boy Robert Woods.
Yeah, Robert Woods.
Just sweet Woods, baby.
Yeah. There's so much to like with the Rams here that, unless you think that Stafford struggles in the first game because it's a new system, it's a new offense, it's new coaching, that would be the only reason why you would want to fade him. But there's no reason to fade him because Chicago doesn't have enough on offense or on their defense to really warrant feeling like there's going to be a monster upset in this. Mm-hmm. Dalton's fine, but he's not going to be extraordinary talent. I do like David Montgomery out of the backfield, but he's going to struggle against the front of the Rams. I like A-Rob, and he'll get his numbers up there, but on the other side of the defense, they
got Jalen Ramsey. They got who else do they have?
Aaron Donald.
I mean, yeah,
there's a lot.
It's just a lot for any team to handle, not just the Bears, but we're talking about the Bears.
Yeah.
So I mean, with that being said, is there any other viable option you would choose other than the Rams at -1.5?
I mean, totals 45.
40.5
40
with
and a half.
over.
I just don't know if Chicago's going to get the numbers up there.
Okay, that's fair.
That's my thing. But the under doesn't feel safe because LA could put 40 points up because we've seen them do it.
Yeah, they can blow.
We've seen them do it before with Jared Goff at the helm, and then Chicago just needs to get a couple touchdowns in there to cover the rest of it. So
We also saw them lose to the Jets.
yeah, that was a sandwich game, and that was a sandwich game, and they had, and that's and it's Jared Goff. It's tough to really trust them. I mean, I guess I would lean to the over just a touch, just because I think Stafford gets a lot of points out of this game, and then Chicago covers the rest. I think essentially the Rams get 30, and then Chicago covers 10. I think they somehow find a way to be able to get into it, but it's probably going to be the second or third most popular part of a teaser this week is going to be the Rams. Teasing them down to -1.5. They're at home. McVay's got extra time. The talent is it's night and day between the two. You can't get away from it, and you can fully expect this to be on my card.
Okay, yeah, I think taking the Rams is probably a no-brainer, and they are at home. I just want to say, even though week one, it's just week one. But pairing the Rams with something later that day, maybe Baltimore Vegas game on Monday.
Well, that's the only game after this.
Yeah, or something before, like all the other previous videos we did. A lot of early afternoon games. I know KC's in that matchup. I know New England, if you're thinking about that, or Miami, if you're this guy right here. So yeah, I think this is definitely going to show up in one of our cards at least. Yeah. And I would wholeheartedly agree with that. I think the Rams have acquired that missing piece for their run. And I'm kind of excited to see that. After being burned by them so many times. It's about time that we place some money on them and win it back.
I've bet them a couple times, regretted it once, but I have no problem. I have no problem taking this at all.
They destroyed Seattle when I bet against them.
I know, I did.
I
had the same bet.
They got destroyed by the Jets when I bet for them. It's just one of those things. But they're in my good graces again. They got Matt Stafford, which I think is one of the most underappreciated and grittiest quarterbacks out there. So just echoing on what you said. So yeah, I'll go ahead and take the Los Angeles Rams at -1.5.
Yep, and same here. Quickly on last season's stats, Chicago was 8-8 against the spread. Away from home, actually, they were 5-3, being able to cover. Totals wise, they were 8-8 as well. However, away from home, they were 5-3 to the over. So what that tells me is that they got enough offensive production, but their defense let in a little too many scores. The Rams, on the other hand, 9-7 against the spread at home. They were 4-4, so they're about even. I expect that to change because of the offense with Matt Stafford. Interesting thing here, they were probably the worst team in terms of over-unders last season. They were 4-12 to the under last season, and that is proof that Jared Goff and the offense could not get enough points on the board. That also means that their defense held a lot of teams to very little scoring. And at home, they were amazing. 0-8 to the under at home.
Whoa, 0-8. Jeez.
So,
wow, that's
less scoring, but also the defense held their opponents to very little scoring at the same time. That number changes a little bit because Stafford's going to offer a little bit more offense.
Oh yeah.
So that's why if I had to pick a total in this, it's a slight lean to the over, but it's all Rams -1, Rams -1. Every sharp is going to tell you that. We'll tell you that, and it's the easy play. We're getting there. Giving you guys as much reliable information as we can. But let us know in the comments how you think this game's going to go. If you're going to bet any of the sides or totals, leave us a comment. But until next time, for Andrew Chang, I'm Daniel Saludo. If you like the content you got in this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, subscribe, tick the notification bell, and select all. That way you stay up to date with all of our latest videos and previews for the rest of the season. Again, we'd like to thank you for joining us here in Week 1. We have the Monday Night Football game to go, so stay tuned for that. But until then, make sure you get your bets in. And of course, don't forget to be a tease.